Jack, here, owner of Hockey Alley, bringing you back hockey history. Today I have part two with Ken Carlson, NHL player with the Montreal Canadiens. How are you, Kent?
I'm good, Jack. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. The first segment went really well, and I want to do a
Thank you.
segment number two of with when you were with St. Louis and everything. And
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So the first thing I wanted to ask you. So you grew up in the Boston, New England area, and did you go to any games at the Boston Garden when you were a kid?
Yes, I went to the Boston Garden quite often with my parents as a young kid to watch the Bruins, Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito,
Wow.
Jerry Cheevers, and all those guys. And they won the Cup in 1970 and 72. I wasn't there when they won, but I was watching it on TV. But during those years, we went to quite a few games. My father had friends that had season tickets, and we'd be able to use them sometimes and go down to watch them. Those times were unbelievable. I'll never forget them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great moment. I wish I can go back in time and see Bobby Orr play live. That would have been something for me. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I want to ask you. So you ended up going to St. Louis in 1986, as you mentioned in the other video. I want to get into that. Who was your defensive partner there?
Oh, geez, I didn't play a lot of defense in St. Louis. They mostly had me at left wing,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was on a line. I was on a line with Steve Reeves and Rick Mahar a lot.
I remember Rick Mahar. Yeah, he was a
Yep.
veteran. And so then you were there for about a couple of years or 3 years, I think.
Well, my whole time there may have been around a couple of years or
Couple
whatever,
of years.
but
Okay.
a lot of my time was in the minors, Jack, playing for Peoria
Okay.
Rivermen. But I did play some time in St. Louis as well.
Okay. Who was the main guy that they looked up to, the mentor in the dressing room back in that time in St. Louis?
That would have been Bernie Federico, Brian Sutter, and Rob Ramage.
Okay. Those are big names. Rob Ramage, he was
Yeah.
a great defenseman. So,
Yes, he was.
yeah. When you were, say, going to the IHL, playing in the IHL, did they ever take plane rides or was it all bus?
Let's see. I don't remember plane rides, but that's possible. I know in the minors they do on occasions have plane rides, and we have taken them. I think I took them when I was with Baltimore and Sherbrooke, I think. But IHL with Peoria, I don't remember if we did any plane rides or not. But I mean, if they probably do if it's a long
Long.
distance.
Yeah, yeah. Nowadays, it's all plane rides for teams. They're spoiled. So it was pretty
Oh,
tough back then.
I didn't know that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
there were some long bus rides.
I mean, if it's a 4 hours away, they'll plane ride it. They will not. I mean, they just depending on their budget of the team, obviously in the league. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't even know that.
yeah. Times have changed. Even the East Coast League has a lot of plane rides. It's like not bus rides would be only within a couple hours. Other than that, it's just changed a
Oh,
lot.
wow.
Yeah, things have
Wow.
changed. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing, yeah, for sure. I want to ask you, did you ever prepare for a fight before a game that could happen on the ice? Like, did you ever get yourself ready that, there might be a possibility of, going at it? Or was that something that you were clear mind, open mind, you didn't think about it?
Well, I wasn't a guy that could lose it at the drop of a hat. I wasn't somebody that could get mad easily. I had to be. I kind of was always by nature a guy that had to be pushed. And once if I get to a certain point, I certainly could fight better than otherwise. But the problem was in the NHL is every game, if you were somebody that was expected to fight, you had to be mentally prepared. But it was hard to do because there were some games I'm getting one or two shifts if I was lucky. Maybe even one shift. In that one shift, you got to fight. Your feet are asleep. You're
Yeah.
not into it. You've been watching the whole game. You got to go out there and try to beat somebody up or get beat up. That was mentally for me. That was very difficult. When I say mentally, in that to try to get prepared, because what's my problem with this guy exactly? I'm just sent out there because he was a fighter, so they want me to. They put me on left wing against, say, this guy who's playing right wing. You're put out there probably to fight, and how do you get ticked off when the guy hasn't done anything to you or anybody? So it wasn't easy, but
it's part of the business. I mean, sometimes to get the team motivated, sometimes a fight would get the team riled up, and the game changes.
Sometimes though it's at the end of the game just to make a point. Like if you're losing or whatever. So there's a little. Sometimes it's I'm not. Some guys can get easily motivated for that, but that wasn't like my nature as much. If I was playing regularly and I'm into the game and somebody's being a jerk out there, I can get into it and I'll let loose and I'll be more than happy to fight. But to just do it out of the blue sometimes was a little hard to get motivated for.
Yeah. Did you ever have to defend a player or goalie, like where you had to step into a fight?
I never saw anybody take liberties with any goalies that I remember, but I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but none that I saw. And then, most of the fights were just because the other you're somebody who fights, there's somebody on the other side that fights, so you just fight. I mean, I fought when I was with St. Louis. Probert one fight. It was at the end of a shift, and I also had a finger that I forget if it was, I had surgery on my thumb at the time, but something was wrong with one of my fingers, so I basically was just a holding on type fight for me. I don't even remember if he connected any punches. Either wasn't much of a fight, but anyway, and then I fought Brad Smith. I fought Barry Melrose. I fought Greg Adams. And all okay fights, nothing too spectacular, but those guys were all tough guys, and I got to be honest. The only one of those fights that I remember the only reason I remember the Melrose one was retaliation because he was hacking me with his stick, and I turned around and we just dropped him, and the other ones were just kind of nonsensical fights. They were for no real reason other than we both fought, so we just did it,
The guy was hacking you, and I say, he deserved to get beaten up.
Well, that was Melrose, but Brad Smith and Adams, those were just sort of fights just to fight. They weren't really just because that's their team liked it. Our team it's when I say liked it, the coaches liked if you get out there and you do that with somebody that knows how to fight. Just go have a fight, and that's. There wasn't a lot of rhyme or reason to it, but you did it anyway.
Yeah, different times back then. How was it to play in the St. Louis arena at the Checker Dome?
That place was special, I have to say. It was, of all the places, the most special place I played was the Forum, and then probably the Garden, Boston Garden. But then Checker Dome was a special place, very loud, great fans, loyal. They really supported the team hard down there, and it was a surprise because coming to St. Louis, I didn't know whether they gave a crap about hockey too much or not. They do. They really love and follow their team hard.
It's great to hear. The reason I asked that question, there's a lot of hockey enthusiasts, hockey historian type of people that want to know about the history of the building. What was it like? So that's why I asked that question. And you played there. I've only seen it on TV. And I can hear that it was loud. That's why I'm asking you that one. And how about Boston Garden? Playing at Boston Garden after watching it as a kid, how was that?
The Montreal Forum was what I would just call a special place. But the Garden was not only special, but it was just like nothing you've ever experienced because the way the stands are, they go kind of straight up. Wow. They don't go back and up or off to the sides and up. They just go straight up. So from the top stands to the bottom stands, it's still like right over the ice and right on the ice, and it's like you're in a gladiator arena or something. It was amazing and loud. Like the Bruins, the Boston fans are unbelievably passionate and care and love their team, and they cheer every last hit, every last pass, every last fight, everything, and so they're great fans. And that place was the most unique to play out of all the places.
Wow. I've only been there once as a kid just to watch a game when I was about 14. It was awesome. It was an amazing experience for me.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, back in the day, today the players hang out with each other that are on opposite teams. Did that ever happen in your time in the 80s?
No, 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 not that I remember. No, no, I didn't even know they did that today.
Did they ever talk to each other as friends on the ice, like, hey, how's it going,
Yeah,
or stuff
yeah,
like that?
yeah, yes. There was some of that, and I did that myself. When you've been in the league a few years, I remember when I was playing with Washington, and Chris Nyland was one of my better friends in Montreal, and we were on a face-off. He was playing for, I want to say it was the Rangers at the time, and I
Yeah.
was playing for Washington, and I said hi to him. He said hi back, and that was it.
Yeah,
When we were on the ice,
that's cool.
neither one of us were gonna take it easy on the other one necessarily, but we said hi, and
Yeah.
so there was some of that, but I mean, not a there wasn't a whole lot of buddy stuff on the ice that I recall seeing.
Yeah, nowadays they hang out in the off season. And did you ever see opponents hang out in the off season or train together? See, guys train together now from opposite teams in the off season, like they play.
Yeah, I heard that because they all will get it. Like they all have a mutual trainer that maybe is somebody that they heard
Yeah,
was recommended to them, and I hear that they end up training together in groups, and
yeah,
so that happens. But I'm sure on the ice still, once it gets to the actual play, that it's not like they're taking it easy on each other. But
yeah. Did you know of anybody? Did you know of something that happened out there that no one knew about? Maybe a play or something that was said or in a practice that like the public didn't know. Like nothing
well, I'm
controversial.
sure. There's tons of stuff that happens. I'm sure the the public doesn't know,
Yeah.
and um, but specifically, let's see. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that. Oh boy.
With the coaches saying something that was like out of the ordinary to the players, or anything that a player said that was funny on the other team that everybody remembers. Sometimes those things happen at the spur of the moment.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's. I remember. I can't remember. Somebody just asked me about this recently. A reporter asked me if I ever played against Dave Tiger Williams. You may have heard of him.
Oh
He
yeah.
was a famous fighter, and I played against him. He was at the end of his career. I was toward the beginning. It was in the minors. I want to say he was with Adirondack. I was with Sherbrooke. I was definitely with Sherbrooke, but I can't remember which team he was with at the time. And we were on a face-off, and I was like, "Is this guy going to want to fight, or what's he going to want to do?" And he said something hilarious to me, and I can't remember what it was, but I remember the face-off was so that I'm facing my bench, and the last thing I wanted is my coach to see me laughing with another player on the other team while I'm early in my career. Like, what am I out here making friends, telling jokes? But it was absolutely hilarious, whatever it was he said, and so I was fighting not to laugh, and I thought that was unbelievable. I never forgot it because it was just something out of the blue that he said to me. We never fought or we had no issues, but it was just, and I'd heard he was a funny guy, but whatever it was, it cracked me up, and that was kind of humorous.
I saw him in the practice in 1986 with the Kings. He was the only one without a helmet, and he was the most roughest guy out there. I mean,
Yeah.
body checking his own teammates. It was more physical than an NHL game. I said, "Wow, this guy is tough." And then I see an interview, and he was like funny in the interview. Is it completely hilarious? It's a funny guy. I didn't know you played against him. That's cool. I mean, sure.
Yeah, I played against guys like Tony Esposito,
Wow.
guys that were, at the end of their careers pretty famous. I fought Terry O'Reilly, one of the best ever. That was mostly a wrestling match, so I was lucky there. But, guys I idolized growing up, for years. It's weird that you get out there and you play him. Tony Esposito was my favorite goalie of all time, and I actually played against him in the Montreal Forum, and I used to pretend I was him playing street hockey, So.
Wow. That's awesome. To see your hockey hero and up there close playing in the actual game. What's a chance? It's
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
It's an amazing experience. Like it's a dream come true.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. I want to thank you so much for taking the time with your busy schedule to talk to me on the video chat here. And
Happy to do it anytime, Jack. You're one of my closest buddies, and I love you and your whole family. And I'm
thank
happy to
you,
talk anytime. And
thank you.
if you think of anything to ask me, you can call me back, and I'm happy to share more stories with you
Sure.
if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about the St. Louis segment might be good because we only spoke about Montreal in the first video, so I just wanted to do a second one where talking about St. Louis, how it went there, and those are the questions I was thinking that people don't hear about much.
Uh,
It's a lot of great memories in hockey over the years. We all have the stories. That's why I want to do is bring back hockey history. This is a lot of forgotten or lots never been heard about, and that's what I do. I like to talk to the players and.
that's a great thing that you do that, Jack. Really
Thank you,
great.
thank you. Because the
Love
new
the thing about
generation.
Bobby Hull.
Oh, you did see that?
Yes, yes, awesome stuff.
Thank you. That stick weighs about 750 grams. It's insane how heavy of a stick he used.
That blew my mind, but I had heard. Once I saw that, I remembered hearing that, but thinking, no, that can't be true. But yeah, but Bobby Hull had unusual strength, so I guess it shouldn't surprise me. That guy, if you've ever seen pictures of him, he didn't do weights. He was a farm guy, and oh my gosh, was he strong? Like I'm talking like Neanderthal strong. Like I
Yeah.
mean, just like unbelievable wrists and arms and shoulders. That guy was a physical specimen. I mean, that guy, without all the evolution of training that they
Yeah.
have today, was probably stronger naturally than anybody of today's game.
Yeah, natural for sure. Did you ever see him shoot the puck live? I mean, when he played at the
No,
Garden?
no, I played with Brett Hull briefly in Montreal, so I saw his dad come to the dressing room when we were in Detroit, and that was kind of a thrill. I just because I was a Bobby Hull fan growing up, so that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's awesome. Great memories. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kent, for taking the time and sharing the hockey history with us. It's awesome.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Appreciate everything. Have a great
Me
one.
too, buddy.
Thank you.
You too, buddy. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon.
Talk to you soon.